You are Locked On Hurricanes POSTCAST. You are Locked On Hurricanes POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Fans, welcome to your Locked On Canes postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. I hope everything's going right on your end. A little bit of technical difficulties here, a little bit of speed issue with the elements firing, the intro of the show there, but nothing wrong with the Miami Hurricanes today whatsoever. Just an unbelievable start to the season in Gainesville last week, and it continued into today against FAMU at home, and albeit a huge favorite in the game. They are up, by the way, 56-9 with 2 minutes remaining. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _. Man, I'll tell you what, it has been a real good day for Miami. Little bit of a lull in the second quarter. Mario Cristobal was very unhappy with his team, fired up in people's faces, and they got the message as they came out on fire in the second half. But it was the Cam Ward show again today that got it going for Miami. This guy is unbelievable. The senior quarterback coming in from Washington State, and everything that he's done in his career so far, all those starts, all those wins, and so far at Miami, he has been unbelievable. Sorry, guys, I don't know if you're seeing this. There's stuff firing all over the place on me here in my computer, and it's kind of fun sometimes to have these bombs going off. But that's what it must have felt like to be on FAMU's defense today, on the defensive side of the ball for FAMU. And we have a very special guest with us right now that we need to bring in right away because this dude is busy. He's doing the network post-game show on WQAM in Miami. He's doing Locked On Canes. We're going to do the two-shot, and we are going to bring Alex Donno to the stage. Can we do this? Alex, there you are. We got it going. You got me?
I got you, Grease. How you doing, man?
Loud and clear.
Win. Like you mentioned, a little sloppy in the second quarter. I was not pleased overall with the first half. Too many penalties, only 3.8 yards per carry in the first half. Miami ended up, the first quarter was pretty good. Second quarter, not so much.
Right.
Cam Ward was fantastic. I know you mentioned that at the top. He was so sharp on the day. I'm looking at some of the numbers. Ward finishes 20 for 26, 304 yards.
Almost
passes,
flawless.
3 touchdowns. Almost flawless. No interceptions thrown on the day. Damian Martinez ends up getting a long touchdown run, 10 carries for 90 yards. Fletcher gets into the end zone again. So does Jordan Lyle. And Miami ends up, putting up the sort of score line against FAMU that we expected. So I was happy about the way the game is finishing here.
But it doesn't look like they're going to cover, man. The dreaded win, no cover, Alex. I think it was 47.5 last I saw it. And right now, of course, with the odds gods knowing what they're doing, man, it's at 45. So if you're a Canes fan and you were getting greedy, trying to win a little extra as far as just not the game and get the cash with it, I mean, there are some, my point is, Alex, there are some Canes fans who are still sweating this one a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, usually my rule of thumb is anytime you see a spread that big, I stay far, far away. But if anyone did put money, and I hope those did it on FanDuel, for anyone who did put money on it, that's the magic of sports. You have to sweat these things out till the very end sometimes.
That's right. He's Alex Donno. He's at the WQAM studios doing the network postgame show on radio in Miami. We both want to thank you for making Locked On Canes postcast and Locked On Canes a big part of your day every day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, right here on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you. Alex, what time is it? Game time.
Game time.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. Alex Donno. So we talked about this game a little bit. We talked about some of the numbers. Before the game, you and I did a little crossover show. Thank you to all the people who watched it. Pretty good views leading in. You're going to have shows coming up with Locked On Canes, but we both had things we were looking to see heading into this game. And at the top of the list for both of us was the run game. Give that offensive line a chance to just bull forward and pound people. They didn't really do it until the second half. But once they did get going with Martinez and Fletcher, it really, I mean, both guys 6 feet and 225-pound plus, they really do look formidable. And this will give Miami a real nice weapon moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, Damian Martinez, first of all, this is, you're going to see how valuable he's going to be in some of the bigger games that are left on Miami's schedule. I mean, he's a future NFL running back. And I love the fact that, you know, Mark Fletcher, who's Miami's second running back, who gets into the end zone twice last week, once this week, who's younger, he's just in his second year, said during the offseason, like, I want this guy here. Like, Fletcher wanted Damian Martinez here, not only so the two of them could team up in Miami's backfield and make big things happen, but Fletcher wanted to learn from the more experienced Martinez, and so he's doing that. I think the two of these guys really feed off of each other, which is great. And we've seen multiple running backs play today. Chris Johnson got to the end zone today, which was nice. But the guy that I'm really super excited about for the next couple of years is Jordan Lyle.
There you go.
From St. Thomas Aquinas.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
He's so good, and he's a great blocker. We saw his pass blocking on full display, especially last week against Florida. But I think present and future, I think Miami's in really good shape in the backfield.
Yeah, that running backs room hasn't been this good in a while, and the receivers room for sure. I mean, we're talking about 8 different receivers from Cam Ward. Before he left the game, Alex, we talked about 20 for 26 with the 3 TDs. The 3 TDs were all to different receivers. 8 different receivers catching balls from Cam. Nobody with more than 4 catches. He is literally so quick. His eyes scan the field. And just watching him deliver that football to different players and finding the right spot to throw it every time, it really is a gift of his. And you don't appreciate it until you see it up close like we have these first 2 games.
Yeah, and he probably the best throw that one of the best throws that Cam Ward made was on that play that was negated by a holding where he found, I think, Jacoby George in the end zone. So it was like one of those things where, like, I know it didn't count, but you saw the full Cam Ward effect. You know, eluding the pressure, spinning around, making a throw on the run, and obviously the play was rightfully negated by a holding on Markel Bell, who is getting a start today. So again, it kind of goes back to that second quarter sloppiness. A few too many penalties today. Like, Miami kept it a lot cleaner from the penalty standpoint, but on the penalty standpoint, something that I did like tonight is, you know, based on Jacoby George, Miami's receiver, who was called for a lot of 15-yarders last year, teams last season figured out they can kind of bait Jacoby into retaliating. He's matured a lot because 2 weeks in a row, Florida tried to do it. FAMU tried to do it today, where they try to get up in Jacoby George's grill and try to bait him into a retaliation, and he's resisting the temptation. So right there, that is a huge step forward because he's one of Miami's most talented players. He just needed to cut down on the penalties, and he's doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I really think that it was something earlier in this game. You didn't see the defense flying around. You did see the interception early, but no turnovers after that. But a lot of tackles for loss today, Alex, and the sacks. Tyler Barron played a big game without Bain in there today. And they were missing Damari Brown, one of their top cover corners as well. So early in the game, you could see that with FAMU having some success. And I thought their quarterback played pretty well in this game, you know, all things considered. And, you know, you really think that FAMU, and you give them credit, Daniel Richardson and Jamari Gassett for that one drive in the first half. They went right down the field, got held to a field goal after Miami scored. The FAMU first-team offense looked pretty good early in the game, the defending national champions at HBCU, but eventually the talent and the depth. And this is the last thing I wanted to talk to you about because I know you got to run. Appreciate your time, but we talked about the depth.
I got about 30 seconds.
And we were wondering about the depth. That's all I need, 30 seconds on the depth.
Yeah, well, I happy and not so happy because, again, Miami did have some second stringers on defense in the second quarter when they gave up some big plays on that long FAMU drive. But I love the way that they finished the game once they got some of the second and even third teamers in there in the second half. Whatever Mario Cristobal said to the team at halftime, it worked because it looked like they were sleepwalking a little bit in the second quarter. They came up fired up in the second half. And talking about depth, I loved Justin Scott, the freshman defensive tackle, had a sack in the game. That was something I love to see.
All right, Alex, have fun on the network postgame show. Tell Josie and Don Bailey I said hi, all right?
I will. I'll see you.
All right, Alex Donno, host of Locked On Canes. You're going to see plenty from him coming your way. Oops, where are we at there? Come on. Come on. Don't do this to me. Where are you? One more time. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. All right, we're new to all this, and we're doing it live, and we're trying to do what Alex does. Great job with Locked On Canes, but an awesome win today for the Miami Hurricanes. They go to 2-0. You know, more Cam magic. The running game gets going with Damian Martinez and Fletcher Jr., the two big backs, and then Lyle, the speed from St. Thomas Aquinas, and the defense very strong today without Bain, without Brown. A very good game from Tyler Barron and company, Jaden Daniels. Nice job by the Miami Hurricanes. Really can see Jason Taylor's influence. Love seeing him as a coach on this staff. The reserves, a little bit in the first half, especially. Coach Cristobal wasn't happy, but they started flying around a lot more, that intensity, and he talked about keeping the standard of this team. So many things different with this year's Miami Hurricanes. A disaster in the ACC, though, man. Not going to get any help with that strength of schedule, the way things have been going so far in the Atlantic Coast Conference, although an unexpected win from a newcomer on the road against a perennial powerhouse in the SEC. We'll talk about that on the show. Late to a break, it's Locked On Canes Postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. The bombs have stopped falling. Everything's all good. Everything went nuts in the beginning of the show from a technical standpoint. I don't even know what it looked like. I'm scared to look, but I hope you guys are having fun, as much fun as I am. Don't forget Alex Donno, Locked On Canes every day. We do a crossover every week leading into the game. So much fun to work with a guy like him. Kyle Krabs, Locked On Dolphins. We have the postcast tomorrow. First game of the season with the Jags and the Finns, Trevor and Tua. But right now we're talking about the Canes and this big win over FAMU. Head has just gone final, 56-9 at The Rock. It's The Rock in here. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ Locked On Canes Postcast. Rolling on right after these words. Un momento, por favor. And you know, if you have a small business and you're hiring, you know what it's like, right? You want to find quality professionals, and it's very difficult to do sometimes. Then they have to be right for the role. So that combination, man, that can be really tough sometimes, but a lot easier when you check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. That is right. LinkedIn Jobs, it's not just a job board, right? LinkedIn Jobs helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else. Why? Because everybody's on LinkedIn. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role in a given month, over 70%, that's 7 out of 10 of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. They're only on LinkedIn. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. And what happens when you're looking in the wrong place? The same thing that happened with all those recruiting classes before Mario Cristobal came back to the U. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. LinkedIn knows small businesses like yours wearing so many hats might not have time or resources to do the hiring. LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the process easier for you and your business. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process easier and quicker. As if that were even possible, they found a way. 2.5 million small businesses can't be wrong. They use LinkedIn for hiring, and you should too. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. There you have it, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Thank you so much. You everydayers are amazing. I promise I tried to use the orange light. I tried to wear the orange jersey, but it just doesn't work on camera. So you got to have the orange here, and you got the orange all around me, the orange jersey. I tried the orange shirt, tried the orange LED lights behind me, had to go back to the green, had to go back to the white down there. Shout out to Devin Hester, Hall of Fame this year. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to me, class of 96 right there, in case you're wondering. Yeah, there's the old Versace tie. You see that? That's on my graduation day, University of Miami. And this right here, 2001. Well, actually, the 2002 Rose Bowl, but that was the coronation. That was the Andre Johnson night. The whole entire stadium was Nebraska fans, and by the second quarter, it was 35-3. You could hear a pin drop in the Rose Bowl. That might have been one of the greatest nights of my entire life. And right now, this year is shaping up to be a good one so far for Miami. I don't want to get out of control and carried away too much right now. And by the way, you everydayers know, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Smash that like, that subscribe, and the bell. We'll let you know when we have more content coming your way from Alex Donno and me. Alex, the host of Locked On Canes. Me, Canes Postcast. A lot more from Alex coming your way. I think we cover this team as well as any combination of people covers any college team in America. And then you got the Dolphins with Kyle and me coming up your way as well. Let's take a look at the numbers in this game today. All right, Canes fans, and you know the spread was 47.5, and they won by 45. So I'm sorry, 47. My math, University of Miami degree. Sorry to all my professors. 56-9, the final, and we'll get to the team stats in just a moment. But first, the ones everybody cares about the most, the individual stats, right? Because the team stats for Miami were very good today as well. And, you know, Miami, of course, in this game, you're going to dominate. I mean, first downs 31-13, 8 for 12 on third down, 548 total yards, 324 passing, 224 rushing for Miami. So Cam Ward, the Heisman campaign, the ACC Preseason Player of the Year, the transfer from Washington State, 20 of 26, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. The ball barely touched the ground. I don't think he touched the ground other than when he ran and got tackled in the open field. Reese Poffenbarger came in 6 of 7 for 20 yards. So overall, 26 of 33, 324, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Not a bad day for the Miami QBs. Richardson for Florida A&M, 13 of 17 for 135 and an interception. Of course, no score thrown by him. And then Damian Martinez, 10 for 90, 9 yards to carry, had a 33-yard touchdown, one on the day. Mark Fletcher Jr., 5 for 42, 1 touchdown as well, long of 23. Jordan Lyle, 6 for 40, and a touchdown. His long was 13. A.J. Allen, 5 for 25. Cam Ward, 4 for 13 with a touchdown. The receiving core, Restrepo, 4 for 104 and a TD. Isaiah Horton, 4 for 66. 4 for 35 for Samuel Brown. 3 for 28 for Jacoby George. 1 for 27 for Riley Williams. 1 for 17 for Elijah Arroyo, who scored. Chris Johnson Jr., 2 for 12 and a touchdown. Damian Martinez, 1 for 15 in this game. And, of course, on defense, you had Tyler Barron, 5 tackles, 3.5 for a loss in this game, 3 sacks for him as well, 5 tackles, 4 solo for Jaden Harris. Miami overall had 10 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks in this game, and they had the interception that set up the opening touchdown, and that was a nice job. And that was they had 3 interceptions on the day: Darius Hayes, Cam Pruitt, but the first one by Wesley Bissainthe that set up their first score of the day. Miami, 15 points in the first, 10 in the second, 21 in the third, 10 in the fourth. FAMU, 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, and they were shut out in the fourth quarter by Miami. Of course, Miami plays Ball State next. After the next break, we'll get into the disastrous day that was in the ACC. What is up? Go Canes. Brian Humphrey throwing up the U's, and Locked On Canes with Alex throwing us up a little something in there too, and appreciate that one, man. And we got a good audience going here today. Really appreciate you guys. You came strong in week 1. Let me just go through my notes because, I mean, why would I take them if I'm not going to sit here and go through them for you as we take a look at the good and the bad. 2 personal fouls, roughing the passer in the first half. Second one was questionable, but you have to avoid those mistakes, right, if you're going to be a competitive team. And I'm telling you that right now. I mean, so throughout the game, you know, I mean, they made little mistakes like Deani Hill trying to scoop up a fumble that gave FAMU another shot. They ended up kicking a field goal, and Miami would have covered. So all you people who didn't cover today, all those Canes fans who sweated it out to the end, and you got the dreaded win no cover. Well, there you go. It was Deani Hill not falling on the football there and trying to pick it up. So you can never bet on, yeah, they're kids. Anyway, so what else? Mario was upset with the reserves in the first half, but in the third quarter, they just came out and pounded Fletcher, and they pounded Martinez, got that running game going with Jordan Lyle as well. And Cam Ward, 20 of 26, 304, 4 touchdowns in the game today. And of course, he had 1 on the feet as well. 26 of 37, 385 for 3, and that one pick, but it was hit by a foot and deflected in the Florida game. And you think about it, they've had 2 huge recruiting classes in a row, and they are about to get another top 10 class next year with some big-time players coming in. But they came out early and often. Again, Bain and Brown were out. They were a 47.5-point favorite. FAMU, the HBCU national champions a year ago. But really, the interception right away, then Ward to Arroyo with the touchdown was awesome. And, man, it just was a really, really cool atmosphere today. Not the huge crowd you wanted to see. Good crowd, but not great. You want to see a sellout every game. Ward was sharp early on, and he just never stopped being sharp. I mean, same thing he did in Gainesville last week. And FAMU did have a couple of really good drives to start the game. Bend don't break for the Miami defense. That would be of great concern if this were the meat of their schedule. And you got Ball State coming up, and, of course, you got some other games like USF and Louisville and then Florida State. But Georgia Tech losing today to Syracuse. Florida State's 0-2. The ACC is an absolute mess. We're going to talk about that on the other side. But the offense looked explosive, but methodically explosive. Very organized, very fluent, very effective. That offensive line, they are very good. They don't get penalized up front. This team is outstanding up front on both sides of the ball, but that offensive line has really impressed me. And when you have the decision-making ability to get that ball out quickly, 8 different targets, 3 different guys caught touchdowns. Nobody had more than 4 catches. Cam Ward's on fire. So are the Miami Hurricanes. So much of college football is quarterback play. We got a great one for the first time in a long time. I said great, and I did say great in Cam Ward. I'm going to get into that a little bit more. And we will look ahead to Ball State, talk about the disaster of the ACC and what that's looking like. Not going to get any help from the rest of the conference in terms of strength or power of schedule. But you win the conference, you're in the 12, you win those games, it takes care of itself. You're watching Locked On Canes, the postcast. Jim Griesehaber, call me Grease. Alex Donno will have his Locked On Canes reaction show coming your way. He's here every day as well. You don't want to miss that. We'll be here after every game with your Locked On Canes postcast, as well as the Dolphins. Tomorrow, they open it up against the Jags. Kyle Krabs has Locked On Dolphins every day, and I have Locked On Dolphins postcast. This is unbelievable what football season is going to be in Miami this year. Cam Ward, Tua, their fleets of receivers and weapons, enough defense to get it done. We could be looking at a special year in the 305 and South Florida and beyond, baby. Canes and Finns armies stand up. Jim Griesehaber, call me Grease, at Jim Grease _. You everydayers know the deal. The Canes are for real this year. Ball State coming up next week. We'll look at that in a minute, and we will do so as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. What time is it? We just asked Alex Donno the same question. Our title sponsor from the show today. What time is it? It's ass-whooping time. No, it's game time. It was game time today in Miami, and the Hurricanes showed up big and showed up strong. If you got your tickets on the Game Time app, you had no surprises today because you knew the Canes were going to win like that. But why else did you have no surprises? Because of everything you can do in the Game Time app that makes getting tickets to your favorite sporting events, concerts, any kind of event whatsoever, one of the easiest things you've ever done in your entire life. And not only that, dare I say it's fun to shop on Game Time. That is right, man. I've been going to games my entire life. Never have I had it this easy in terms of getting tickets than I do with Game Time. And that's also as if the embarrassment of riches weren't enough, and we'll get to all of it in a minute, but they've added another feature in Game Time called Game Time Picks. What is Game Time Picks? Something that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. How? Well, the how is in the why is in the how, right? So Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. That's right. You talked about all the time on the Marlin Show. If you watch that, it was 50% off for Diamondbacks and Dodgers on Labor Day weekend. 2 of the best teams in baseball playing each other in Arizona. Half off tickets on Game Time right up until the game. They have specials like this all the time. Incredible deals on Game Time. Curated deals make it easier to find the best seats. The super deal, seat views before you buy, and of course, unbelievable with Game Time Picks. It's curation for you. They sort through everything and only give you the best deals for you every single time. You get all-in pricing. You get views from every seat you're looking at before you purchase. You get the lowest price guarantee or 10% of your money back, and you get Game Time's ticket coverage with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry, period, point blank, bar none. So what are you going to do? Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. It's that easy. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? Game time on the Locked On Podcast Network. I want to thank you for making us your first watch/listen every day. Check out Alex Donno with Locked On Canes coming your way, and I am so excited to be here with you all season. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Class of 96. I know it's a long time ago, almost as long as we've had a winning program or a great program, right? But all those dynasties and all those years started with a group of guys coming together under a coach who put together incredible recruiting classes, a coach who had come home to the University of Miami. And I'm not talking about Howard or Jimmy. I'm talking about after that when Butch came and sparked that dynasty that led to the Coker run. And now with Mario Cristobal, 2 top 10 classes in a row, and literally another top 10 class coming in next year. They're saying the last 2 were the best in school history. It's getting even better. Jason Taylor, Kevin Beard, doing great things on the coaching staff. Man, Mario Cristobal has everybody believing, but more than anything, it is Cam Ward, the magic of this quarterback, the magical play so far, distributing the ball to multiple receivers, game in and game out. He's the big 6'2", 225-pounder from Texas, playing in Miami for the first time in his career, and his numbers have been phenomenal. 46 completions for 689 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 rushing touchdown, and only 2 sacks. His rating is through the roof, over 200, his quarterback rating for Cam Ward. So obviously it starts with the quarterback in college football, but a lot of credit. His weapons are getting open. He has a great receiving core led by Restrepo, but that offensive line has not let Cam Ward get touched all year. And in the second half today, and those big boys love it when they finally let them pin their ears back and play the way they want to play. Hey, the receivers have been getting it done, coach. You let Cam Ward throw it all over the field. We didn't let anybody touch him. Let us have our way now. Let us roll up those sleeves even more. Let us get down and dirty, and let us knock the crap out of the guy in front of us and push that ball forward with Martinez and push that ball forward with Fletcher and then hit him with Lyle. Each of them had a touchdown today in that running game, which finally got going the way you want to see it go. As a Miami Hurricanes fan, an outstanding offensive performance today. The repertoire on full display, knowing full well it was FAMU, but what are you going to do? You play who you play, and you put up the numbers. Hit the like button. That's right. Smash, ring the bell, subscribe right here. Locked On Canes postcast, Locked On Canes, of course, right here. Locked On Sports Miami. Cam and Canes roll. FAMU, I tried to wear the orange. I tried to have the orange LED lights. The gods of lighting and decor were just not having it. Everything else is pumpkin until Halloween. You didn't need to see a bald pumpkin sitting right here covered in orange on the Locked On Canes postcast. That was not happening here today on the show. Thanks to Alex Donno for coming on earlier in the program, breaking it down for us. We do a special every week, man. If you missed that, it's dope. We give you the keys to the game. We break it down for you. Alex and myself, proud alums. Alex hosts the network postgame show on QAM. Alex and I used to do a show together on 790 The Ticket back in 2008. Everything comes full circle. And let's hope the dynasty is too at the University of Miami. You got Ball State coming up next week, and Alex will be breaking them down quite a bit coming into that game. And I'm sure with some of the upsets that we've seen today, look, Alabama is barely up on USF right now, number 4 Alabama. The Canes play USF in a couple of weeks, and Alabama's at home in that one. So Miami with the 56-9 win over FAMU, keeping it going. Notre Dame lost today. You got to love it when that happens. What's the score with Tennessee up 20-3 on NC State? Terrible day for the ACC. I'm going to have to get on out of here with this because they're going to give us no help this year. And by the way, I've said it from day one when we first went to the ACC, all those Donna Shalala things that everybody complains about. I've always been one of them. Should never have joined the ACC, should never be in the ACC. That was the beginning of the downfall of this program. And now that the landscape of college football has just become a complete bleep show, then you know what I'm saying? Well, at least BC didn't lose to Duquesne. Boston College looking pretty good. Virginia Tech's 1-1. They beat Marshall. North Carolina's 2-0. They're not bad. They beat Charlotte. Let's see. Cal beat Auburn on the road. 2-0 for Cal. Shout out to Cal. Pitt's 2-0. They won at Cincinnati 28-27. Syracuse 2-0 beat Georgia Tech 31-28. Georgia Tech now 2-1. Clemson got a win. They beat Appalachian State, or they're about to, 56-10. Louisville is 2-0. They beat Jacksonville State. So you still have some teams, but NC State 1-0, not for long, losing at Tennessee. Virginia and Wake Forest, it's 30-17. Wake end of third. They're 1-0. Stanford and Cal Poly. Stanford's 0-1, but they're going to win this game. Miami, of course, 56-9. The final, and they play Ball State 12:30 next week. Of course, that game's going to be awesome. And another probably big win for Miami. So excited about that one and everything going on with the University of Miami right now. Don't forget to catch Locked On Canes all week with Alex. Locked On Canes postcast next week after the game, which starts at 12:30 Eastern time next Saturday in Miami at The Rock. Don't forget to get on out there, man. Every dynasty starts with you, the fans. You're going to fill that place. We've been starving for so long. I hope you learn your lesson. If you want to be at the elite level of a Georgia, of an Alabama, of a program like that, you have got to fill this place. These recruits, these players have got to see that place packed to the rafters every single week if they're going to come here. It's on you. It's on you to do your part. We're doing ours. Alex and I, Locked On Canes and Locked On Canes postcast. Don't forget the Dolphins with Kyle every day, with me tomorrow, the postcast after the game. Jags and Fins, the season opener tomorrow. Then Thursday, it's the Buffalo Bills. We have the Marlins show too, right here on Locked On Sports Miami on YouTube and the Locked On Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast. And because we do it every day, your team every single day, and you guys know we are here for you with the Locked On Podcast Network. We will be back next week for the Ball State game. Until then, Miami fans, keep your game tight and your mind right. Big week for the Hurricanes again, 56-9. They rout FAMU to go to 2-0. Going to be moving on up again. Will they crack the top 10? Come back for Locked On Canes with Alex, day in and day out, especially you everydayers, to find out more. Thank you for making us your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On College podcast. From NIL deals to never-ending conference realignment rumors, Spencer McLaughlin gets you ready for an exciting season on the gridiron. You can find the link to Locked On College Football in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Thank you so much for being here, Canes fans. 56-9, the final. Go Canes. We are out of here, and you will see Alex Donno soon with Locked On Canes podcast. Again, next week against Ball State. We'll be back. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ on social media on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.